Good evening, everyone, and welcome to round number 11 of the NAPA Truck Series season. We're here at Bristol, and Flipside swept the front row. Will Goss leads us to the green flag. Lane Sanders gets an amazing start from third place, and he's already up to second. Miller has fallen back to third place, but that's no big deal here at Bristol. We got both lanes working. Cole Baker running for the championship this year, up on the top, battling with the number 80 of Ryan Butcher, and then Nick Breeding, Kentucky winner, up here running in the top 10, and Samuel England starting to look like his old self again, running up here in the top 10. But as of right now, Will Goss and Lane Sanders are running away. Towards the back here, we got some really interesting news. Porkins Crunchyroll Incorporated inherited the 1 and the 63 trucks from Joseph Srigley Racing. Randy Riggs, Ben Crouch continue to drive these trucks. Same driver rotations in the 63. And then another team called New Shade Industries took over the 61 and 16 of Logan Cloud and Dewey Schramm. Joseph Srigley Racing selling their equipment. And Ian Brandt and a brand new S3 truck in the number 25, making his first career start at Bristol. He will be making sporadic starts throughout the year. And up front, Goss and Sanders have absolutely gotten caught up by Austin Miller and Cole Baker. But Goss, he's looking like the truck to beat. He literally has just been so fast every week. He almost won Kentucky, but strategy made him finish 23rd in that race. But Will Goss looking for redemption from Kentucky, trying to get a second win of the season for Flipside. He has been absolutely on fire since about round 6 and 7. And he's making a title hunt right now. He's trying to get to Tyler Black, which Black is not anywhere near here. He is having an awful day here at Bristol. Tyler Black running P27. This team could not get a grip of this racetrack all weekend. They were saying that they were struggling with tight race cars on the exit of the corner. So Tyler Black, this could really affect his championship run if Will Goss and Cole Baker have outstanding days. Regardless if one of them has an outstanding day and he finishes back here, he could lose the points lead today. Ryan Butcher trying to go around the outside of Cole Baker. He's trying to take the spot from him. And these guys will periodically go up to the high side because that lane works just as well as the bottom. But these drivers like that sticky PJ1 lane, and it gives them a whole lot more grip and it saves their tires a whole lot more. But that high side, it does give you a better run on the straightaways. Ryan Butcher just trying to get by Cole, and he clears him going into turn number 3. I want to give a shout out to Griffin Lapo McDermott running here in P10. He has had a lot of struggles lately. But as of recent, though, he's been turning it around for North Border. North Border found something. And this number 13 has been really good on the mile and a half. Kind of lacked on the short tracks. Jeff Bolton giving this truck a top 10 at Homestead. But man, Griffin is wheeling this thing. And he's keeping it ahead of Logan Cloud. And to no surprise, they have the same exact equipment of the Joseph Srigley team. It's just a livery switch pretty much. So he's running P11 around where he wants to run. And Cody Goforth back in the number 4 truck after Jordan Fisher's been in it a little bit recently. I believe he ran at Kentucky as well, but Jordan Fisher was in this truck for a few races, but he's battling with Ryan Dagby. And Dagby has been also turning it around a lot recently. And he's been keeping up with his teammate Samuel England and on some occasions beating him. So that's a really big look for Dagby, and he's looking to stick with S3 for a while. And this number 5 Stouffer's truck looking real fast so far. He's running around P15. And Ben Crouch running for Porkins Crunchyroll Incorporated. We're at P16. And apologies, Ryan Dagby is P14 on the racetrack. Will Goss has absolutely sprinted away from the rest of the field, so far leading all 20 of 20 laps, about to lead lap number 21. And it's really hard for me to think that someone's going to beat him out here today. Overall, in lap times, he had the best average, and the man literally sat on the front row for the past couple weeks. So He is just, I don't know what he's been doing in the morning, but he has been doing amazing in this series. Must have taken some tips from Valtteri Bottas and gotten some porridge in the morning. But man, same with Austin Miller. He's been on a roll. He got his first win at Irwindale, and he's just been running fantastic for this number 37 team. And it's been announced that the 37 and the 94, are moving on up to the Hardy's National Series, which is extremely well earned. Both very young drivers and both race winners. Miller wasn't even old enough to start the season on mile and a halfs when he came into this thing, but there's a reason why this team signed him. And that was because this kid knows exactly how to win a race. And Lane Sanders, how about the turnaround since he's been at Breeding Enterprises? I mean, it's been absolutely outstanding to see him and this number 87 crew go out there and do what they've been doing. They did a great job at Kentucky, and they've just been on the pace since he started out at Irwindale. So Lane Sanders getting it done for this team here. And Ryan Butcher as well. He's been turning it around a lot recently as well. There's a lot of drivers making some comebacks this year. The other drivers that have been slipping a little bit. Blake Warren's been slipping a lot. Another driver that's been slipping a lot, Sebastian Kukula. But today he's actually running pretty good. Like P16, you know, he's been around P25 recently. I guess the team just missed something because the 24 truck, who's now running a little bit in the top 20, he's been running pretty alright so far. So I don't know what happened with the 05 and Ditech, but they had a little bit of a step back. Sebastian was running for the championship. He won at Phoenix this season, so we know he's not lacking, and we know this team isn't bad. It's just this is their first year as a team, and we got a car with an engine failure, and that's Cole Baker. Cole Baker running in the top 5 blows his engine, and that's going to bring out the caution. Tough for Cole Baker. This is going to put a little bit of a dent in his championship run, especially if Will Goss keeps running the way he does and Tyler Black makes a resurgence in this race. Regardless, Black is going to gain ground on Baker. As you see, one truck's going really slow back there. That's Logan Cloud for New Shade Industries. And it looks like we just had 2 engine failures in the same lap. We'll go back and look at what happened to Logan, but we already saw what happened to Cole. Cloud behind Warren, it just seems like that the battery died or something when he went into the corner, because as soon as he let out of the gas, it just sounded like it broke. Like no input came out of it whatsoever. So Logan was just trying to find a place to go. Luckily, he got towed back into the pits, but man, what a tough end to a really good run for Logan Cloud if he's out of this race, but hopefully they can get that fixed. But yeah, we'll take you back to the restart and green flag and see what happens. Will Goss continues to lead, and Thomas Lipscomb and Logan Cloud on the inside because they're lapped down. Will Goss leading us back to the green flag. Lipscomb gets off to a really slow start. Will Goss, of course, gets off to a great start. Already gets on the bottom, and they're going to go 3-1 in the exit, and Lipscomb gets turned. Lipscomb down into the inside wall. He got spun by Logan Cloud after going 3 wide. And Thomas Lipscomb. The truck looks to be okay, but he was just turned off the nose of the 16, I believe, after that messy 3 wide situation. You never want to do that on a restart at Bristol, especially if you're a lap down. This incident actually wasn't anything of Lipscomb's fault. Logan Cloud pushes him up into Lane Sanders. Luckily, Lane was able to hang on to it. He got caught up in something last week as well with Cole Baker, and he was furious after that one, but he was able to save it this time. And well, one guy who's not going to be happy is Thomas Lipscomb. I mean, he was just trying to drive the thing and keep it clean, and he just got turned by Logan as he slides down on the apron. Luckily, no one hits him or loses control into him. But Thomas Lipscomb and Crossroads Racing got a little bit of work to do on that truck, but luckily, they're going to be able to finish out this race with that damage. And we'll take you back to the green flag. We're going to try this one again, but Logan Cloud and Thomas Lipscomb have switched positions. And nobody pitted last time, of course. We only went one corner, but still would like to note that as we're back green flag racing, Logan Cloud hanging it right down the inside with Will Goss there. Lipscomb holding up Ryan Butcher. But Logan Cloud just sticking it down the inside, trying to keep Goss at bay, trying to get his lap back, or a couple of his laps back. I believe he's 2 down right now. Yes, he is. And Goss is going to do him right around the outside. And oh, there's contact. Lipscomb gets hit again on the exit of turn 2 in a 3-wide situation, but this time it was Samuel England. Poor Lipscomb, he's just kind of become a punching bag out here at Bristol. He was put on that inside line, and this truck just doesn't really have the speed like these other guys do, but he's going to send it on Nick Breeding. He's going to stick it down the bottom in that PJ1, but Breeding's horsepower is going to override. That is Bob Burns in pit road for an unexpected stop. Or either that or he had a mechanical failure of some sort, but Thomas Lipscomb still in the way of the Untitled truck of Austin Murray. But we're going to get back to the battle for the lead here, and Will Goss has got a comfortable cushion between him and Lane Sanders because there's one truck giving Lane dirty air, and that's Logan Cloud. And Logan, he was running pretty good, so he's no slacker around here. So he's gonna be running right behind Will Goss with those fresh tires. This is what Logan Cloud would like to be doing on the lead lap, but of course, it's not looking like it. And I don't think he's going to be able to be back on the lead lap for the rest of the race. Will Goss, though, speaking of leading laps, he's led every single one so far. Not a single lead change. Lane Sanders has been so close, and I feel like he's the only one who can really do it right now. But Goss has just got too much speed at Bristol here, and he is waltzing away with Logan Cloud right behind him, actually. This is actually really impressive from the 16, because this 94 has been the truck to beat all weekend, and he's just hanging with him. Even though he's not really running the best right now, I just want to give a shout out to Zachary DeLello making his debut here at Bristol. It's not very easy to make your first start here, and well, the fact that he's keeping the bumper clean, I applaud him for that, to be honest. You know, I wouldn't be too harsh on the kid. He's 18. It's his first ever stock car series start. But he's got some big shoes to fill in this number 28 truck. This truck has been a race-winning truck this season at Laguna Seca. Of course, Bristol and Laguna Seca are two different worlds, but these Diego Yepes trucks are no slouches. But Zachary DeLello just doing a good job keeping his bumper clean, learning how to drive the track, learning the truck. As Kukula has been held up immensely by Thomas Lipscomb, and he's just continuing to slide back. Kukula's just had nowhere to go, and he's getting put 3 wide with Lipscomb in front of him. And Kukula has gone from 15th to about 26th in the span of the green flag restart to about right now. And boy, if I were that 05, I would be fuming. I feel like there's going to be a finger thrown out the window, or a bird, to that number 3 truck as the 05 passes him with ease. And he's going to try to make all those spots back, making a quick move on Zachary Bilson. What a pass! Going into turn number 3, you got to have a set on you to make a pass like that. But going back up towards the front, still got to applaud Griffin Lapo McDermott for this run. We're sitting P11 right now behind Blake Warren. But Will Goss has been caught up by Lane Sanders and Logan Cloud as Kyle Springer's making a pit stop down there for some reason. If these guys are short on fuel, this is going to be a really interesting race. Because some of these guys are going down into the pits real early. But we'll see here. We've had a couple cautions, and it really doesn't take much to get around 75 laps here at Bristol. So we'll see what happens. But so far right now, it's looking like Will Goss and Logan Cloud are going to waltz away from Lane Sanders. And Logan Cloud's going to try to get his lap back, as he probably just made a pass on Kyle Springer there, because I think I saw him twice just now. And, well, obviously, Will Goss is just going to keep pace in this field, and I don't really know if anyone's got a challenge for him besides Lane Sanders, because he's the only one in his zip code right now. His own teammate's not even in the same zip code in that number 37, so Will Goss continuing to lead this race. We're going to come up to about 16 laps to go. And that clean air that the 94 has and a quick truck, it's just a recipe for a race victory. So we'll see how this plays out. But so far, Will Goss leading this race. Goss starting to catch lap traffic. And he's just absolutely blitzed this field. I mean, Lane Sanders has just been hanging around 7/10 behind him this whole time. And wow, this 94 has just put on the most dominant performance I've seen so far in this series, leading every single lap. I have no idea if that's ever been done in this series before. Setting records, Will Goss is, but we're going to go through the field, at least through the top 20, as much as we can. And yeah, Lane Sanders running P2, doing an amazing job. Miller, P3. Kid's been outstanding lately, of course. And Ryan Butcher, P4. This is a great run for this team and Brian because, you know, these teams always want to run in the top 5, but they can't always do that. And when Anjato's in the top 5, it makes me really happy to see. And I'm sure Peter is very ecstatic to see his truck up here in the top 5. And Nick Breeding running in the top 5 2 weeks in a row. It's looking like he might get 2 finishes in here 2 weeks in a row, as well as a win last weekend. I'm sure that Eugene DeMax is a really, really happy owner right now. And Samuel England, P6, last year's champion. He's actually having a really good run compared to how he ran the last few weeks prior to this race. Austin Murray, P7. Could be doing better, but as I said, you know, these guys all would love to be doing better. But this is a great run regardless. AJ Jones, he slipped a little bit this year around the mid-season, but looking like he's gaining his pace back. Ryan Reed, P9. Blake Warren rounded out the top 10, doing a great job. Griffin Labo McDermott doing a great job in P11. Same with Ryan Dagby and Cody Goforth. Austin Rogers and Kristen Vargas rounding out the top 15. All of them doing really good. I'm sure Vargas would love to be a little bit higher up because of the caliber of Tommy Roberts Racing, but, you know, what can you do when the truck's a miss? Nick Pericles, P16. Actually a really good run for this team. They were on the back foot a couple times, especially at Iowa. They were one of the worst short track cars, so they made a lot of inroads. I think Lane Sanders and Pericles himself have helped a lot. Ben Crouch and his old teammate run 17th and 18th. Doing pretty good so far for this new team, even though it's just the Joseph Swigley equipment that we're used to seeing in the top 10. Doing a really good job. Tyler Black, P19, would love to be doing better, of course, but he was running P27 earlier. I think I would take P19 over, 27th. And Xavier Richardson rounds out the top 20, and you can see Austin Johnson back there in the 24 and 21st. But we're going to go back to the lead and give you coverage of the white flag as Will Goss is about to take it. The white flag is out there. You see the flag man waving it. And that's pretty much been the rest of the field because this 94 car, or truck, excuse me, has just put on a whooping. Will Goss, out of Ohio, going to come out of turn number 4, and he's going to get a second win of the season here at Bristol. Will Goss wins. A pretty tame race here at Bristol. You kind of expect a little bit more as you see some contact in the top right corner, but oh my gosh, those guys are getting into it. But man, this has been just a really good showing of how clean these drivers can be sometimes. But that pit road showing was not one of them. But thank you guys for tuning in. Will Goss gets the win here at Bristol. I'd just like to thank everybody who tunes in and watches this series every time it comes on. And yeah, as the points and results the results are scrolling down the screen right now. Again, thank all of you for tuning in and supporting the series even when it's at its lowest. And, well, I think this was a pretty good race. I don't know about you guys. We'll see in the poll in the Discord. But Will Goss winning here at Bristol. Second win of the season, and he's making a charge for the championship. Of course, not having the best result last weekend, but the highest of all the championship contenders, so he did still gain points. And this week he definitely gained some points and some momentum for next week. Thank you guys though for tuning in, and we'll see you at Chicagoland for round number 12 of the season. Take care guys, and good night.